Now before I start this video, I just want to apologise about any strange noises you might hear in the background, like screaming, laughter, or banging, or anything like that. It's the 1st of January, as I'm recording this video, 2024, and it's the school holidays. And obviously Jack's home having fun. Now above my head is the main house. I'm in an underground room. This is where my studio is. And it's an old house and there's floorboards and yes, it makes a lot of sound. So I do apologise about that, but kids will be kids. Now I thought I'd only done a video a few weeks ago and it turns out it was 6 months ago. So I'm starting 2024 with a brand new video about my RED Komodo X and give you guys some reasons on why I upgraded to the RED Komodo X from the RED Komodo. So this video may help some of you if you're thinking about upgrading from the RED Komodo to the RED Komodo X, or it may help you save some money and keep your RED Komodo and not upgrade to the RED Komodo X. Because I own a Red V-Raptor, this is the Super 35 version, it's called the Rhino, it made sense to get the RED Komodo X and sell my RED Komodo. I don't have that anymore, I have sold my RED Komodo and I purchased the RED Komodo X because these two cameras have a lot in common. The first thing, which saves a lot of money, is the memory cards are CF Express Type B. They use exactly the same memory cards, which is really nice. The RED Komodo X now has a mini or micro V-mount plate on the back. You don't have to put one of those silly plates on the back of the RED Komodo where it had two Canon BP batteries, which were great because you can hot swap those batteries, but you had to put a plate on there and it was another moving part. It would wobble quite a bit. And if you put a larger battery on there, something larger than a 98 watt battery, you tend to get quite a bit of movement. So it's nice that it's got the V-mount, mini V-mount I think it is, or micro V-mount on the back. Again, the same as the V-Raptor. They use exactly the same plates on the back. So the audio, which is that one there, on the back of the RED Komodo X, allows you to have phantom power on the RED Komodo X. The RED Komodo just had a standard microphone jack. So you can actually attach something like this, which will give you phantom power through this tiny little audio port. Again, which is exactly the same as the V-Raptor. Again, they have a lot in common. The RED Komodo X is almost the same size as the original Komodo. It's the same dimensions at the front, which is 4 inches by 4 inches, but it's slightly longer. So most of the accessories for the RED Komodo will fit the RED Komodo X. I've had no problem with any of my accessories, to be truthful. This has a lot more ports and is a lot more flexible than the original Komodo. The original Komodo had its SDI port at the bottom, which was underneath the batteries, which is an absolute pain in the ass to get to. This one has only one SDI, as in the V-Raptor has two. The V-Raptor does have a little bit extra. Obviously, it's a much more expensive camera. It's a more powerful camera than the Komodo. But as you can see, the ports are a lot better on the back of the Komodo X. And you'll see there. Which makes it much easier to get to your ports and the batteries on there. Like I said, the original Komodo, you had to get underneath those batteries, the BP batteries, or if you had a V-mount on there with the V-mount plate, it was really difficult as well. This makes it much easier to get to everything and it works much better. You'll also see there is a USB-C port on the RED Komodo X. The RED Komodo didn't have that, the V-Raptor has it as well. Now this USB-C port is not for recording files to an external SSD. Well, at the moment it's not. Maybe RED will bring that to this camera further down the line, I don't know. It's mainly for plugging in accessories, or you can plug in a phone and use your phone as a monitor. You can use an iPhone, you can have a USB-C to Lightning, which I've done before, or if you've got a new iPhone 15 like I have, you can do USB-C to USB-C, or you can use an Android phone. And it will actually power the phone as well. And it makes it a really small, compact system. You don't have to worry about carrying a monitor, carrying batteries and cables and everything else, and also burning out your SDI port. I use it a lot like that for handheld run and gun type situations. I find it works really, really well. You don't have to use the USB-C to connect your phone to use it as an external monitor. You can actually use Wi-Fi. The RED Komodo had the antenna on the side here. The RED Komodo X sticks at the back and it's much bigger. And you can see it's actually bigger than the V-Raptor. Now I've used my iPhone 15 Pro with the RED Komodo X and no cable because I don't always have the cable, to be truthful. I forget it sometimes. And I've had no problems. I've had the same amount of lag, which is very minimal. I have to say, you don't even notice it, as plugging in via USB-C. I don't know if it's because there's better antenna. I don't know if it's because the Komodo X is a better camera. It's more updated inside, or my iPhone 15 Pro works better with it. I don't know what it is. So a lot of the time, I don't even bother having the USB-C cable plugged into the phone. That was another reason why I got it, was because I didn't like the Komodo link on the Komodo. It was this extra bit that bolted on the top here. and then the cable came out and looped around. It was just messy, and I don't like mess on my cameras. I like to keep my cameras as minimal as possible. Because the RED Komodo X is using CF Express Type B cards and not C Fast cards, you can actually record more frames at 6K. The original Komodo was 40 frames, the RED Komodo X is 80 frames. Now a big improvement on the RED Komodo X over the RED Komodo is this lock-in lens mount. The V-Raptor has it as well. So you put your lens in, you push this up gently, and it locks the lens in place. There's no movement. It takes away that wobble. Mine was quite an early version of the RED Komodo, and I think it's one of the first ones in New Zealand actually. And the lens mount wasn't loose, but there's a bit of play in it. If you were handheld shooting manual focus on a cine lens, you could feel that movement, and sometimes you'd see that movement in the actual video files. I didn't like that, so I'd have to put brackets at the bottom, I'd have to put a lens mount on there, and sometimes even bolt the lens if I could by running the strap around the lens to the actual lens mount to stop that movement. It was okay. It was better with Canon RF lenses and EF lenses with the adapter, but if you're using like a Miki or Mikey, whatever they're called, any of those type of lenses, because they're an aftermarket lens and not a Canon lens, you tend to get a bit of play in them. It wasn't a nice experience, let's say that. Now, something that did shock me about the original Komodo, you couldn't use RED's 7-inch monitor, the DSMC 3 7-inch monitor. Even though it's got the same terminals as this on the top, it wouldn't work. I'm not sure why that was. Maybe it's because the processor inside the RED Komodo wasn't powerful enough. I don't know. But the RED Komodo X does. So you can actually use RED's 7-inch monitor straight onto this. So you don't have to connect in SDI or power or anything like that. So a while ago, there was a live stream with Scott, and Jared Land was on there. So I asked Jared, is there a 5-inch monitor coming for the DSMC3? And he said, yes, it's coming, but just not yet. So when they bring out the 5-inch monitor, I'm going to jump on it, because that's going to be amazing on this small camera. I don't think a 7-inch will be very good on this. It will work if you want to, but for the style of shooting I do, I'd like a smaller 5-inch monitor. Now I'm just going to power up the RED Komodo X. This battery, which is a Nano 1, I picked these up in Taiwan for 150 Kiwi dollars. I don't know what that is, but it'll pop up somewhere up here, whatever it is in US dollars. They were on special, ridiculously cheap. Now they are a 49 watt battery, and as you can see, they fit really well on the RED Komodo X. So the new interface is a lot better. It's more responsive. I never really had a problem with the original Komodo. A lot of people complained about it, saying it wasn't responsive and it was laggy. I didn't really have a problem. I wasn't expecting a lot, but never had a problem with it. The new system on the RED Komodo X is more responsive and it's faster. It just flicks through pages much faster. And another nice thing is these buttons here are raised a little bit, so you know which buttons to get. It would be nice if they glowed. So if you're listening, Red and Jared, make these glow. Just for the fun of it, really, but it would be nice to have them glow, especially if you're working in a dark area. So another thing I've been playing around with the RED Komodo X is face tracking. They've introduced it to the RED Komodo X, and the RED V-Raptor also has face tracking. The RED Komodo doesn't have it, and it's not going to get it. From what I've read everywhere, Red have said basically it just can't do it. It cannot do the face tracking, which is a shame. There's a beta version, but it's not going to do it like this camera does. It works really well. I'm quite impressed with it, to be truthful, but I wouldn't use it on a paid gig. It's not reliable enough for that yet. It will get better. RED are very good at updates on their cameras. A few more updates, and it's going to be as good as something like my Canon R3, be better than the SL2S, because that face tracking is okay, but it uses the old Panasonic system, so it's not as reliable. If you get it to lock on, it's great, and then sometimes it just disappears off. This is not as bad, but it does stutter a little bit. Like I said, I wouldn't use it for a paid gig. I do everything manual focused when I work with my clients. I wouldn't use the face tracking, but I think it's going to get a lot better quite soon. So something I've been liking with the RED Komodo X is this front record button. There's a side record button, the same as the Komodo, but the Komodo X has a front record button as well, which is the same as the V-Raptor. Has a side button and a front button. If you're using this camera for handheld work, you've got it in your hands, just having that record button there is really nice, because you don't have to come around to the side and move the camera, it's just there in your hands. Plus this is a half press button, so if you half press it, it brings up a function. You can program it in the menu to do different functions. Doesn't cover everything that the camera does. I would like it to have edge focusing, I think it's called. I just use focus peaking, and if I want to double check, I just go to edge focusing. Now if that can be programmed into that button, that'd be really nice. So again, Red, if you're listening, do some more functions with this button because it's absolutely amazing and it works really well, especially when you're handheld shooting. You don't have to move the camera or anything. You just hard press it, just check your focus, and away you go. Before I go, one thing I don't like is this release switch here for the memory card door. It's really easy to knock because it sticks out from the body. So when I put it in and out the camera bag, sometimes I knock it and I jam the door on the camera bag because I'm going to slide it in. The V-Raptor doesn't have that. It's recessed in. I don't know why they've designed it like this, and it can be really annoying, especially when you're handing the camera and the door flies open. But the good thing is it doesn't stop recording. So I hope this video has been helpful for some of you out there. If you're thinking about upgrading from the RED Komodo to the RED Komodo X, or you don't think the RED Komodo X is worth it and you're going to go for the RED Komodo. They're both amazing cameras. All of RED's cameras are absolutely amazing. Once you shoot RED RAW, you can't go back. And these cameras are built really well. I know there's a lot of people out there complaining about RED. A lot of them have never shot with RED. I started my journey with RED with the RED Komodo, and I'm glad I did that because it was a very affordable camera. They are starting to get more expensive, but the RED Komodo is a great camera to start with. But that may not be for you. If you need the extra frame rates and some of the extra stuff with this camera, then go for the RED Komodo. It's a really nice camera. So that's it for this video. This was just a quick video to get me back into the swing of shooting YouTube videos because, like I said, I thought it was in a couple of weeks ago I shot a video, and it's been 6 months. Time flies. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. More videos coming soon, especially with these lights behind me. I got sent these from a company called DigiPhoto, I think it's called. They're tube lights, RGB tube lights, and they work incredibly well. I've been testing them, and they're working here. The app is absolutely outstanding. They're really, really good lights. Probably the best set of tube lights I've ever used or owned. So there'll be a video coming on them very soon, and some new Leica gear. I'm going to get back into doing more of the photography reviews and then not so much of the video gear, because a lot of people don't like the video gear. I like sharing what I've learned, and I love talking about these cameras, but it doesn't do too well on my channel. So I'm going to go back to the photography stuff, like shooting with the SL2S and some other Leica gear, which I have coming soon. So if you guys have any questions about the RED Komodo, the RED Komodo X, or the RED V-Raptor, leave me a comment down below. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
What are you talking to?
I'm talking to the camera.